Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be basically yapping about Arfight while showing you all of my Arfight tags. I know it's kind of late now, but I still wanted to make the video because I have the footage and I made the thumbnail, I started the video, and it might be a bit late, but I hope you guys are still interested. Now this was my second year in Arfight, and I had done it last year and I was on team vampires, and obviously we lost, but that's fine. I was on team Stardust this year and we actually won, so yay, team Stardust. This year was a little chaotic as I kind of had a period of time where I wasn't doing much Arfight. I was doing Arfight for a while and I was pumping out a lot of attacks. It was going great, but I was pumping out too many attacks. I think that I just kind of got unmotivated, and I also had a family vacation that kind of interrupted it, and for a while I just didn't make any more attacks. Once it was nearing the end of Arfight, I started to do more attacks, and I was kind of catching up, but I still had a lot more attacks that I wanted to do, as I set a goal for doing 20 attacks this year. I thought, 20 attacks seems reasonable. I only have to do 20 days or even less than 20 days, because some days I do more than one. But it's actually harder than it sounds, and I did not realize, or I guess I kind of underestimated how difficult it would be, but I don't know, it's mostly because I took kind of a long break, and by the end of Arfight I did a little bit, and I didn't know it was, I keep saying "and," don't I? I didn't know that it was going to be longer than after July. So I assumed it would be done after July 30th, so I thought I was good and I was just gonna end it there. But once I realized that I could keep going, I had a sudden burst of motivation, and I pumped out I think 6 drawings in the last 2 days. So I made my goal I literally made exactly my goal, and I literally stayed up late working on the last few. But you know what, I did it. I made my goal of 20 attacks, and was it worth it? I don't know, maybe. Because some of the last attacks I did feel really proud on. Some of them were kind of rushed. But I made my goal, and I'm probably not going to up my goal very much, if at all, next year, because it wasn't the easiest. But I don't know, it just depends on how next year goes. Who knows, maybe I'll have a whole bunch of time. Maybe I won't. Maybe I actually have to lower my goal. I don't know, it just depends, we'll see. Or maybe I won't even do a goal. Maybe I'll just do whatever. Also, after Arfight, I realized that I made a mistake, a pretty big one, I think. Well, maybe not that big, it could be worse. It's not like I was intentionally trying to cheat around the system or gain a bunch of points or anything, but turns out you aren't allowed to use bases in Arfight. You're not allowed to use pose references or anything, and I directly used some, or used Pinterest things. I would trace over it to get kind of the anatomy, and I used this for I think maybe a decent amount, but not all of my art, obviously. No, maybe 5, I don't know, don't quote me on that, but I used it on a decent amount of them. And it's because I was kind of struggling. I only did it if I was struggling with a pose, and I was just trying to improve my art, because this whole art fight, I was kind of gradually learning different things or adding different things to my art as I was learning, and it was cool because in a whole month I was actually improving a lot faster because I was focusing on making new art and applying new techniques. Part of using techniques is I like to use references, and sometimes direct references for anatomy, and I won't do that ever again for Arfight because I didn't know it was a rule. I don't know, I guess it's kind of controversial, It's like not really tracing, but like usually that's what they are for, is for pose ideas. Like I look up on Pinterest pose ideas, but you know, it's okay. I won't do that on Arfight again, and I don't know. I won't try to do it as much in general, but I kind of use it as a crutch, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. I don't really do it that often, but if I'm struggling with a pose, I will, because I still need to work on poses I'm not great at. I'm actually considering making a video where I just completely work on poses, like a 30-day challenge or something. I don't know, it's just, poses aren't my thing. I usually used to draw just the basic, like 3/4 or just facing, and then like cut it off after like the shoulders. And so the only thing I really practiced was like faces. So I really need to work on getting natural poses that look interesting and different, especially when I was doing so many different pieces for Arfight. I didn't want them to feel repetitive, and I wanted them to have like kind of their own uniqueness to each of them. And I think actually by the end of Arfight, when I wasn't using as many poses, they were kind of coming more naturally. I don't know, that's still something I need to work on. I think some of these pieces were definitely more rushed, but I really did enjoy Arfight, and I feel like I actually learned a lot of cool techniques. And I also fell in love with this one brush. Here, I'll put a picture of it on, as I use IBX paint, and I love this brush so much. This is my savior. At first I was just using it for hair, but then I realized I could use it for like shading and everything, and rendering is like my favorite part of drawing, at least digitally, and it's so fun. I absolutely love it. It's just great. I totally recommend it. I, for one though, take forever to do art pieces. If I'm fully rendering it, it takes me way too long, and it's sad because first I have to do like the sketch, and I do this weird like anatomy thing every time. I don't know if it helps. I feel like it kind of helps my process somehow. And then I do the line art, and then I do the flat colors, and then I do a heck of a lot of like shading and rendering, because that's my favorite part. I mean, not heck of a lot, I mean I could do more, but like that's my favorite part, and that's where I'm trying to experiment more, and I definitely have been experimenting more, and I think that it's gonna get better, yeah. But the only bad thing about that is the longer I spend on rendering, the longer it's gonna take to do my art pieces, and they already take a while, so oops, but it's fine. Oh, by the way, sorry, I have not been talking about any of the specific drawings that have been showing up on screen, because I've kind of been ranting about random things. But the one I'm doing right now, this one, I actually had a lot of trouble doing like the hair. I had no idea how, because this artist really has a specific way of coloring that I do not get. I just really don't understand. So it took me a lot of playing around with colors to get color that just kind of still gave me the right vibe. But actually I did really enjoy doing this drawing, because I feel like it actually was fun to experiment with like different colors, because I have a problem where I'm shading and I'll just take that same color and just make it darker or make it lighter, and it's fun to do different colors and kind of change the spectrum, and it can still look really cool and good. And this is where I started. After this, I kind of started trying to put a little bit of different colors into my art, not like a whole ton, but like just a bit of different hues can like make a huge difference and really bring some like color into the drawing. And doing this actually got me out of my comfort zone, so that was actually a great idea of me. Wow. It does feel a little weird having like no script at all, because I'm used to always like scripting videos. So I hope you guys still like this style where I kind of just go off on random tangents. And it's kind of a long video, so I don't know if you guys have a good enough attention span for this, but I couldn't really make it a short video because I had so many Arfight attacks that I did. I did 20 of them, and I put these all on like really high speed, and they're already speed paints, so they're already sped up, so even with that, it still ends up being longer than I'm used to editing, but hopefully when this comes out, it'll be worth it, and you guys will enjoy it still, so I don't know. Also, near the end of Arfight, I tried to focus more on trying to experiment with backgrounds and foregrounds, and it's still very foreign to me, and I don't have a lot of experience, so it's not like great, but I definitely did try to work on that a bit more. Like, for instance, in the last one, I did like cherry blossoms and stuff, and I tried to add some like I did a little bit of lighting. This is just experimenting, and I didn't really like do a deep study or anything. In the future, I might try to focus on that more, but it was fun kind of just trying different things. I should also probably brush this topic at some point, because I'm sure people are going to be thinking about it, as I know there was like some Arfight drama, or I think it's more really TikTok drama, that people have been talking about. I know that like there's always probably been drama on Arfight, and I'm assuming that it's just been there. I feel like I haven't encountered any drama whatsoever. Everyone's been really kind, and I don't know if it's just I'm lucky and haven't encountered any, or maybe it really isn't as big as people are making it out to be, but I think that it's kind of been exaggerated, because that's just kind of how the internet is. But I don't know, the TikTok drama, I'm sure there is obviously some drama in Arfight, but on the site itself, I have experienced nothing but pretty kind people. The worst that's happened is just people ignoring or not like responding to me, but that's like really not that bad. I think Arfight, it's just great if you get any art of your characters, and I still am so happy every time I open up Arfight and get a notification. It's pretty fun, and I probably want to keep doing Arfight every year, or as much years as I can, because I think it's fun. And I'm actually curious, I wonder what the theme will be for next year. I hope it's something good. I don't know. I like the theme. This year I think it was cute. Stardust and Seafoam. I like both of those. I was actually not sure which team to join, because I love Seafoam and Stardust. They're both really cool vibes, but I got Stardust, which is the winning team, so I guess I chose right, yeah. If you are an artist who has never experienced Arfight before, and you have heard of it or thought about it or dabbled in the possibility of doing it, I highly recommend it, because even if you don't want to put in a whole ton of effort and make a whole bunch of art pieces, I still will totally recommend it, because it is a really great experience, and it only happens once a year. So next year, I think you should do it. Just saying, yeah. Last year, I don't know what convinced me, if it was my friends, because I know my friends were starting their first year as well last year. Or last year, does that count as this year or last year, whatever. Or if it was YouTube videos or hearing about it, I don't know. But I am glad that I did it, because it's pretty cool. And seeing art of my OCs always makes me so happy. And I actually still have one of the art pieces that someone did for me as my wallpaper, because it is gorgeous. And yeah, everyone's so awesome. I love Arfight. You may or may have not noticed that I did do 3 characters from one person on Arfight, but I absolutely love her art, and her characters are so adorable, and I really couldn't help myself. Actually, I have had her characters bookmarked since my first year, but I just never ended up getting to her characters, and this year I just couldn't help myself. I have so many characters bookmarked. I made a whole album in my phone for all my bookmarks, and if I really didn't know what to do, sometimes I just spin the wheel and then pick a random one. But sometimes I would just have one that spoke to me that I just really wanted to do. And I really liked all her magical girl characters. I wanted to draw all of them, and I liked all her human forms and magical forms, but obviously that's way too many characters for me to draw, especially because this was near the end of Arfight and I was grinding. So I decided to draw these 2 because, well, it's the same girl, but like her magical form and her normal form, because she is absolutely freaking adorable, and I love her color palette and her face and her just expressions. They're just, she's so cute. Okay, I had to do that. Yeah. I'm still experimenting with my style, and it's kind of a little bit stagnant, like as in it's kind of staying similar. I'm not changing it drastically, but I do like making little changes, and my art style has never been like, I've never been completely satisfied with it, but I feel that if I just keep going and trying to focus on small things instead of trying to be like, this is the day I'm gonna get my art style, this is gonna be the perfect art style, and I'm gonna keep redoing it until I get the perfect art style, I should just focus on making the art that I want instead of just trying over and over again to get the perfect art style, because I was kind of stuck in a loop like that for a while, and I would just make the same characters or the same poses and just try to get the perfect art style, but I wasn't really growing as an artist by doing that. Like, sometimes I would learn little things, but it's not the same as if I just try to make art, you know? There's still a lot of characters that I really wanted to get to by the end of Arfight, but I never quite got to do, and I probably will try to get to as many as I can next year. But there's probably always going to be characters I want to draw and never get to, because there are so many cool characters on Arfight, and I love seeing other people's creativity and OCs. It's pretty cool and definitely inspiring for sure. Overall, even though some of these were kind of rushed, I still am pretty proud of what I got to accomplish, and I think it was really fun. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.